Hi there guys, hope you're all well and welcome back to another video. So this video here is going to be a day in the life. I'm starting now, it's 11 o'clock on Thursday the 7th of December. I'm in my coat because I've just got back from walking my dog. So what I will normally do is on a night, I will prepare for the night and the next day. Okay, so hopefully this video here is going to show you what a realistic day in the life of a trader is. Not driving around in rented cars and stuff like that, just trying to make some money from the markets, okay? So the first thing I will do is come to FX Street the night before, look at the economic calendar for overnight and the next day. For me, overnight, there's GDP for the yen. I don't trade overnight for one, and GDP, in my opinion, doesn't move the market too much for me to worry about what I'm trading. So overnight, I know I'm clear. Going to then tomorrow, Friday, it's the first Friday of the month, so we've got NFP. Obviously, with this in mind, probably 12 o'clock in the afternoon will be my cut-off point regarding trades, because once 1:30 hits, all hell's going to break loose within the markets. So for me, I'm probably 12 o'clock, like I say, is probably the cut-off when it comes to that, okay? So that's my plan fundamentally. Now let's have a look at the actual markets regarding what I'm going to be looking at. So what I will do the night before, I don't know why it's just come all the way over here. What I will do the night before is pretty much look at my Forex pairs and see what I'm looking at for the next day. So this area down here has come close and done a reaction. So for now, I'm going to mark it as purple. Purple to me means that it's kind of higher risk and I'm probably not going to take it. On this pullback here, there are no areas on this Fibonacci for EA that I'm interested in. So simple as that, I have no trades for EA tomorrow. Euro CAD, the only trade I have on Euro CAD, that there are other confluences, but there's the 61 fib here, and I'm looking to trade that. So if price manages to, I think it's 130 pips, 131 pips away that position is. So realistically, tomorrow before 12, is that coming? Probably not. Okay. However, now if we look, if I do this, we've got EN. EN is exactly the same. There's not any positions that I'm going to be interested in, whereas GA is looking very interesting for me. As you can see regarding GA, I've already had two positions this week which have come good and won. So I'm trying to make that three for the week. The first area is going to be this here at 191. Realistically, guys, look at the way GA is pumping now. It's about 10 pips away from this area. So overnight, I predict that this area is going to be hit. If this area is hit overnight, I am not going to trade it. So what I will do, I will only trade during certain hours. And with that in mind, that's why I miss a lot of overnight trades, because I can't manage the position. So that's something to bear in mind if you are new to trading. If you're asleep, you can't monitor the position, make it risk free, go break even, stuff like that. So obviously keep that in mind when it comes to leaving pendings, which is what my strategy is. So what I will do is the next area I'm interested in is the 191.50, and that is about 60 pips away. So hopefully, if I wake up in the morning and price is trading in and around any area, I will look to take that position. GN, I've got an area here. I don't know why it keeps doing this, but yeah, so GN, I've got this area here, probably, let's have a look, 100 or so, 70 pips away. Same again like GA. If I wake up in the morning and it's near, I'll take the position. GCAD, I have this position today, which has won. But besides that, there is no other position I'm interested in for now. So pretty much for me now, what I'm going to be looking at for the next couple of days, or the next day, should I say, I've got GN shorts there and GA shorts here. So they're the two pairs that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. I've done my fundamental analysis for tomorrow. I know I can trade up until 12. I now know what technical areas I'm looking at, and that is as simple as it needs to be. So what I will do tomorrow, guys, I will be back on screen probably about 8:30. I will set my pendings. I will send them to the group. So that's a quick heads up if you are interested in A, seeing how I trade, and B, even following my trades. There's the links to the groups if you want them. But what I will do is I'll pick up with you guys again in the morning, about 9 hours time, and then yeah, hopefully we can take some trades before NFP tomorrow. If not, it is what it is. But yeah, for now, guys, I'll see you all in the morning. Right, good morning, guys. So it's currently 10 to 9 on the Friday. So last night, obviously, I marked my areas that I was going to be interested in for today. So all I do now is I'm basically going to, if I just hide that, I'm basically now just going to go over my charts, see what areas have been hit overnight, and the ones which haven't been hit overnight, I will now actively trade today. So we can see this EA zone here has already been hit. So for that reason, I'm simply just going to get rid of it off my chart. Realistically now, going into today, I can rechart this. If we look, we've got a nice break retest here with the fib and key level like so. So I may be interested in something like this, okay? So this is potentially area number one. I've still got an hour left of this candle here, so I'm going to wait until the candle closes. EuroCAD, we can see that there's nothing within kind of realistic trading distance today. 150 pips is needed in the next few hours, so it's not happening. EN, same again. We've got nothing really on this pair. If we do look at the most recent swing, you can see there's not really anything worth trading on that 78 Fibonacci, in my opinion. Going on to GA, so this is the pair that I said if price was to start pulling back, then I'm going to be interested. But as you can see, prices continue to push down. So for that reason, I'm going to have to delete these areas. We know that this was an area yesterday. So now I'm simply going to have to wait for more of a pullback, okay? So just because you do your analysis the day before, it doesn't mean that everything's going to hit. If we look at GN, we can see that there's a position that I'm interested in about 55 pips away, because what would happen is my entry price, my first confluence is at 2.0490, so I would enter at 2.0485. What I do now in these situations here is I'm just going to write my entry price on the chart. So if we look here, what I'm going to do is go 2.0485. So I know that that's my entry price. Then what I am going to do is screenshot this, because you know, guys, I do have obviously a group. So firstly, what I will always do is send the position to the group. So then what I will do, I'll get the group up like so. So this is the free group. So if you're interested in the free group, I do send ideas into this one as well. However, if you do obviously want to see my actual trades, then we're looking at this. So I will paste the chart in like so. I will get my notepad up because I have obviously a format, and I will go pound New Zealand dollar. Personally interested in sells at the 2.0485. I'll personally use a 30 pip stop loss on this position. So this is kind of what I will do every morning when it comes to my trading. Not every day we're going to get a trade, so I will send that now. So that is basically my area for the day. I've told the group and I'm interested in that. Going back to the charts, pound CAD, I've got nothing really of interest if I look at this. So you can see pretty much all fib levels have been hit here. You could argue that there's a position down here, like so. And in all fairness, there probably was, but as you can see, it's gone off 65, so it's gone off the buffer, and it's potentially worked. So for now, I'm not going to trade that zone. If this little message goes away, I'm not going to trade that zone for now. GU, same again. There's nothing near. GJ, after yesterday's huge spike and EJ's huge spike, I'm not trading. So that means I've done my fundamental analysis. I've identified I'm only trading up until 12 p.m. today. So what I could do as well, if I go on here, what I also like to do is come onto economic calendar. I'm sorry, it's on this screen here. So I'll come on the economic calendar, go back into the group, paste this, and I'll say due to NFP at let's have a look. I think it's at 1:30, isn't it? Yeah. So due to NFP at 1:30, I am only interested in the pound New Zealand pending up until 12 p.m. If we aren't in the trade by then, I will cancel it and end my week. Perfect. So this is basically what I will do every single morning. Let me just do this. I will look over my charts from the night before that I've analysed. I will look at the fundamentals again just to make sure that I'm doing it right. And then obviously then now I'm done for the day. So that's the good thing about my strategy. And what I'll do as well, I've got two phones simply because I have my personal live account. I have my FTMO funded account, so that's two apps. I then have Fiddlecrest 50,000 account, which is on MetaTrader 4. So then, due to that, I have to have a second phone simply for MetaTrader 4 again, but for my Nova funding. So that's the only kind of annoyance when trading multiple funded accounts is that I'm now going to have to basically set this trade that you see on the screen 4 times. So it's a small job or a small cost to pay for the fact of the potential returns. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, every morning if I've got 3, 4 pendings, I've got to set them across 4 accounts. So it does get slightly annoying. But once the set, and that's the way I do it. Okay. So guys, that is it for this bit. We'll see if any trades trigger. Usually, what I'll do now, I'll go walk the dog, have some breakfast, and then obviously I'll just see how it goes. So, guys, while I'm currently waiting for this position to trigger, I just wanted to go over a couple of things. Now, with the strategy I trade, it's very good for someone, for example, with a job who's going to be off screen all day. And then that way they're not really having to look at anything. Now, there's two ways to flip it. So, I'm currently now waiting for this trade. It's on the 4 hour time frame and it's about 50 pips away. Now, most people struggle sitting on their hands and doing nothing when it comes to the markets. So you'll find people will then start being like this, going down to the lower time frames, starting to try find positions and things like that. Whereas that's not something that I ever kind of want to participate in. All I am doing is at the start of the day, marking my areas, or at the end of the day, marking my areas that I think are going to work. And then throughout the day, this strategy allows me to do other things. So whether it's going to the gym, which is what I'll be doing probably after 12 o'clock, a lot of the time back testing, so getting a lot of data. So if I show you, let me have a look. I think I've got some here. Let me have a look. So whether it's back testing, a lot of the time YouTube videos and things like that. So what you want to be doing is basically with this time that you are not actively trading, you want to be making that time as productive as possible. So for me, obviously, because I do a YouTube and stuff like that, it benefits me to do that. Most other people, it may benefit you to backtest and get data. Obviously, when you are backtesting, you are simply just building your confidence when it comes to the markets. Now, I've always been big on backtesting personally. So, for example, if you look here, this is a spreadsheet that I've got, and this is literally just different types of backtesting that I've done over time. So look, as you can see, it's got everything on here. You've got highs and lows, so many different ways that I have traded, okay? And I'm just building confluence, proving to myself and obviously the data that my strategy works and that it gives me an edge in the market. And that's all I will do with my spare time. So it's 9:30 now. Probably 2.5 hours I've got before this trade potentially gets cancelled or I'm in it. So we will see how it plays out. But for now, I just wanted to touch on kind of what I like to do with my spare time. I'm probably going to go make some breakfast now. And then obviously, like I say, after 12, once that's done, then my day is pretty much free. I'll probably go to the gym, which I'll probably show a couple of clips of and stuff like that. But yes, guys, that's just what I thought I'd check in with before, obviously, and giving an update on the trade. Right, guys. So what I'm going to quickly do, I'm going to send a couple of trades to the free group. Now, just made some egg fried rice at 10 to 9 in the morning. But yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly scan through a few of these pairs. And if there's anything which I deem like strong or a good trade, then what I will do is I will most likely send a position to the free group. So as always, if you are interested in the free group, link is in the bio. Obviously, if you want to join. So I'm just looking here. So I think personally, and this is the beauty of the strategy I trade, you can literally find areas pretty much instantly. So I would say that this right here is a good position to potentially trade. The only thing is, it's the Japanese yen. We saw what happened yesterday with yen after that big push. So even though it's a good position, I'm not going to send it to the free group. We've got Australian dollar, US dollar here. So let's have a look at what could potentially be sent. I'm just going to have a look up here. I think this right here will make for a good position. So we've got like a little head and shoulders as well, kind of. So then we've got this position here. So I would say 0.6645. Perfect. So I would say that this is an area that I would personally trade. So what I'm going to do is take a screenshot of the chart, load up my free group here, paste this in, and basically just go new trade idea, do the little light bulb, and then just say Australian dollar US dollar shorts. I would say valid until NFP, where I would then cancel the position due to fundamentals. So there we go. So that's what I've started liking to do with the free group. I will, throughout the day, if there's positions that I find, I will basically just send them into the group. And then that way I'm basically just able to, keep content out there. If you scroll up, I basically document what happens in the paid group. But then also, if you look here, at the start of this week, I sent some trade ideas. So I sent gold, which looked like this. I sent oil, which looked like that, and I sent GU that looked like that, and then EU that looked like that. If we look what happened, oil did the move, gold did the move, EU did the move, and then that is basically it. So out of 4 positions that I sent to the group, 3 actually hit and then ended up working. So even if you're in the free group, you should have potentially learned something or earned something. Completely depends which way you look at it. So that is what I would do with this free group. Now, it's a bit 50-50 because obviously regarding the free groups, etc., you are getting this area and you are seeing obviously the position play out, but you're not necessarily learning how to actually do it. So that's the only, I'm not going to say negative to the free group, because at the end of the day, it's free content, you know what I mean? But it's just something worth noting in that scenario where obviously if you want to be learning, there's obviously other ways to do it, obviously through what I do. But if you are just looking to potentially see some trade ideas, then by all means, the free group's for you. Just depends what type of journey you're on. Are you trying to learn, or are you just trying to take someone else's trades and make money from it? There's 2 different routes to do it, because the two are very different. If you're looking to learn, it's a lot longer of a journey. It's going to take more time. It's going to take more effort. And so there's that side of it, compared to if you're just looking to take someone's trades, then again, you don't need any experience for that. As long as you can set a trade, there's that. So I will keep you updated regarding this trade. Obviously, same again regarding NFP by 12 o'clock. If it's not hit, I wouldn't trade it, especially with this being a US dollar pair. So something to bear in mind. Sometimes the way to trade, it's not about getting in trades, it's about when to avoid trades, which is what will make you profitable. So something to keep in mind when you are looking for trading positions. Just because an area looks good technically does not necessarily mean it's a good trade to take, especially with something like NFP coming out. So, guys, it is now 20 to 1. So, for me now, the trading day is over. I did enter a small position here on pound CAD, less than 1% risk, just in the leading up to news. It's currently running 7 pips, so it got up to about 27 pips. My TP was at 30, which is this green line here, so it's not quite being hit. My stop loss is at break even, so in anticipation for the upcoming news, it's either going to break even or make profit, so it doesn't really matter. In terms of what happened with GN, so due to the news now coming out, this area hasn't actually triggered. It did end up going off the third touch of a trend line with this area here, but that's not a trade I'd take. So for that reason, I have now cancelled that pending. So what I am going to do is just go into the group here and basically update the group. So I will say, due to NFP, I am now cancelling this trade, and then new trades will be sent Monday. Perfect. So that's me done for the week in terms of trading. There is a couple of other things that I'm going to do over the course of the day now, just to obviously go over what I've done, kind of the trades for the week. So what I will do, I'm going to have a meal, get myself to the gym. As mentioned, I'll record a bit of that session, and then following that, I will come back home and we will review the week, see what we could have done better, see what obviously we did well, and then obviously that gives us the preparation for next week if there's anything we need to change or anything like that. So what I will do, guys, I'll wait for NFP to be over. This zone might trigger and win, might trigger and lose. Doesn't really matter to me because I'm not going to be in it. So yes, guys, I will see you most likely now at the gym. Right, guys, so this is obviously the gym session. First of all, started with my pre-workout and square that. Today was basically a full body day, so I usually have a split, push-pull legs, etc. And today was just freestyle session, doing exercise for each body part. So started with an incline chest press, mainly just obviously most people like incline. Start with that. I will usually try aim for 2 heavy sets of 6 to 9 reps. Obviously, like I said, depending on if you are into the gym or not, this might even make sense to you or not. But yeah, did a chest focused exercise to start with. After this, on my last rep, you can see always making sure the last reps are the hardest. Then went on to a chest supported row or a T-bar row. With this, pretty much overall back quickness, and this was the second exercise, starting with the main body parts, i.e. chest and back being the biggest muscles from the upper, just obviously because we don't want to be doing arms and stuff first because it just fatigue you. Then I went on to this laying lateral raise, in my opinion probably one of the best exercises for my personal preference when it comes to shoulders. Pretty much using cuffs for the handles, so that's attachments that I use myself. I want for about £8. So this was shoulders. Pretty much always make sure to try go to the gym daily if I can, depending on what I'm on, in or outside work, like that. So this was exercise 3. Exercise 4. Struggling. Exercise 4, did a tricep push down. So pretty much just simple as it is. Usually I'll have a strict diet as well, that just helps with my routine when it comes to training. Simple because obviously it's routine, it's discipline. I've always said to people, if you are struggling with your kind of trading and sticking to rules, stick to a diet plan, because you'll see that the results you get from the diet plan will motivate you to become better. Obviously when it comes to trading, you're going to start seeing results by sticking to a plan. So in my opinion, this is the most powerful thing when it comes to trading. Okay, so that was kind of the changing point for me. I do actually have a video on that in the past. Final exercise, did arms, chest and biceps. Pretty simple, just a cable bicep curl. With this, again, I'll just put this finishing off. I did legs the day before, as mentioned. I do push-pull legs, so there was no point in me doing another leg exercise with this. Kind of just a full when it comes to it. So that is pretty much the gym session broken down. I'll now go into the charts where I will break down. As you've just seen, I'm now back from the gym. If you do in future, by the way, want to see more gym related content, just let me know, because I thought I'd just stick it in there But obviously, if it is something you want to see, then fair enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down a trade I actually took earlier for NFP. I want to go over the reasonings. I managed to take about 3-1 on this position, and I'll show you the thought process. So it was before NFP. So what I'm going to do is blank my screen up until the NFP point. Okay, I'm going to drop to the 15-minute time frame, and basically all it was is that before the news came out, I identified this area within the market. We had a large reaction here, a liquidity spike there, and then a large reaction here. So overall, we've had two large wicks into the area. When NFP comes out, you will tend to find that gold will be drawn to these areas, whether it's a high or a low. So if it was the highs, you'd realistically be looking at something up here where you've had large reactions in the past. So price will be gravitated to these areas and you may see another reaction. So if I go into the 15-minute time frame quickly, what I want to do is show you what happened. So we had this area here that I was interested in. Price then, if we look, on NFP release, pushed down and did this, okay? So you can see that large wick here. I'm probably going to maybe have to go into the 5-minute. So price broke below the zone here and then started pushing back up. So what I thought in my head, and this was my thought process, was that NFP did come out better than expected, but it wasn't a crazy amount. It was only about 10, 15,000 better than expected. So what you tend to find is that price will have this initial big drop, so over 1,500 pips, call it 1,500 pips regarding that. And then following that, price then started pulling back. What I did then is that once price started pulling back, I set a buy stop above my area, so like so. And what I was doing was targeting the break and retest of this structure. So if you look, if we put this as green, and my stop loss was just below this area. So it was a risky trade, but as price started coming back up into this area, I set my buy stop, price came up, and as you can see, price pushed up, I took a partial, I left a runner, and price then, as obviously following that, started pushing down. Realistically, I could have potentially, if you look here, taken the break and retest short risk-free, but it wasn't something that I was looking at because I was maybe seeing if gold was going to push higher. So I managed to obviously take a position today at the very end of the week. So that is basically how my week ended. What I want to do now is go over the trades for this week that I've personally taken. And then obviously following that, hopefully that then summarizes the week and you've basically seen the thought process of how I approach my days. Now, some of you, if you've made it this far into the video, might be thinking, well, you've not gone out and done this, you've not gone and driven this car, etc., etc. What you need to realize is that if you are wanting to be long term as a trader, it's a very boring game, okay? So it's not that you're out every day doing this and that and that. It's very boring. You're waiting for positions to trigger, like you saw. I didn't have a trade trigger today in terms of an FX pending, but I did on news release take a position. So if I hadn't have done that, I'd have had a quiet end to the week. But what I want to do is pretty much just show you how my week's ended. So we'll start with what happened on Monday. There was this trade on pound Australian dollar. So if we look here, if I just get rid of this, you can see I had a 50 Fibonacci of this move down. I had a nice key level within the area and the 191 round number. 3 confluences is what I require to take a position, and this position did that. Okay, so you can see I had a nice sniper into that area and the area worked. So that was Monday. That was my win. Going into Tuesday, I had pound New Zealand dollar. There's no screenshot because it missed pending by 8. Went and hit TP. It did come back to work, but the fact it missed and did take profit, I didn't want to risk it. Then going into Wednesday, I had another GA position, which was this here. So you can see 50 fib of the move down, key level with these kind of wicks inside this area. And as you can see, price snipes the area and pushed down for another TP. What then happened is that on Thursday, I had this trade miss pending. So this was this trade here. So it originally missed and went and did over 20 pips. Then following that, I decided to cancel my pending. Price did come back and actually hit the area and work, but the fact it made a move without me, I was initially just not then interested in the trade. So this one was unfortunate because that would have taken me to 3 wins for the week. But then, as you can see, then pound CAD, this trade here, if we look, 78 fib of this move down, key level, round number, everything lined up perfectly, and you can see minimal drawdown. So with the way I trade, it's very, very simple in the fact that I am pretty much just looking for recent price action. I will set my pendings in the morning. I will obviously do my fundamental analysis on that side of things. And then following that, I will either take a trade or I won't. It's pretty simple in that aspect. So this has basically been a day in the life, so to speak. It's just basically documented what I've done with my trading. Obviously, I've done things for the group. I've been to the gym. I've avoided news. I've made a bit of money. So that's pretty much what a day would look like when it comes to trading the strategy I do. So as I mentioned a minute ago, if you are still here at this part of the video, because it's probably quite a long one, I hope obviously you've enjoyed and potentially learned something. Any questions, drop them in the below. And then, yes, guys, I will see you in the next video.